My name is Nicholas O'Brien. I am a philosophy major and women's studies minor at the University of Rhode Island. I spent the second semester of my sophomore year studying abroad in Rhodes, Greece. I've prepared this video with the hope that my experience can help students who are thinking about or preparing for an international study experience. Like many college students, I knew that my college years would be a time in my life where I could explore my options, learn new things, and get involved in activities that would help me develop as a person. I saw studying abroad as the best way to gain life experience, enhance my academic program, and solidify decisions about my future. To be honest, I chose Greece because financially it was a great deal compared to other European countries. I was also interested in the country's rich history and contributions to philosophy. Everyone's trip starts the same, with paperwork. All of the necessary paperwork is provided by URI's Office of International Education and is self-explanatory. The application process is almost like applying to college again. I was required to write an essay, get recommendations, and complete documentation to be sure that the credits fit into my academic plans. Because the Office of International Education and the Study Abroad program provided pre-departure information, I found packing to be easy. For the most part, anything I didn't pack, I was able to buy in Greece. Though when in doubt, never rely on your host country to have the items you want. If there's anything specific you want, pack it yourself. I was required to obtain a passport and visa so that I could live in Greece. Don't make the same mistake I did. Take the passport and visa processes seriously. It's important that you personally take care of your passport and visa. There's a lot of paperwork, so be advised, it might test your patience. I had never bought plane tickets before, but I was able to figure it out easily enough. Everyone's got a different approach when planning, so it's best just to take your time and do the research when looking for flights and deals. Finally, I was ready to go. Saying goodbye wasn't hard for me. After all, I had decided to study abroad for a reason. When I arrived in Athens, I was already lost. It was 110 degrees, I had 100 pounds of luggage to carry, and I was exhausted. I left my home in the United States at 5 a.m. and arrived in Greece at 6 a.m. the following day. With the time difference, I had been traveling for 18 hours. At that point, I spoke no Greek, I couldn't figure out how to do simple tasks like use a payphone, and the only thing that I knew was that a village called Dion was my destination. Getting from the US to Dion took everything I had. Aside from the flight, there was little time for food or rest. It was very intense, and all of the responsibility was on me. So, it's important to remember not to get overwhelmed when you arrive. Take a deep breath and take everything in stride. Looking back on my arrival now, I realize how necessary this experience was. If I were to arrive in a foreign city today, I'd be fine simply because of what I learned that first day in Athens. Funny as it may sound, this is exactly the type of experience I wanted. Sink or swim environments make for quick learning, and as hard as that first day was, things immediately calmed down once I met the other students. I also learned that they had had some of the same concerns I did about leaving home and spending a semester in an unfamiliar environment. That first night, I got to relax with my new friends in the twilight beauty of Mount Olympus. Once the initial struggle of getting situated was over, I was immediately able to relax and enjoy myself. The other students and I would visit the beaches daily and just take in the untainted beauty of rural Greece. The lifestyle and environmental changes were so great that they provided me with the fresh perspective I needed. During my time in Greece, the days were so full that I experienced something for the first time in my life, the moment. I was able to let go of my inner dialogue and simply enjoy the moment. I found that unlike some students, I didn't miss home at all. In order to be fully receptive of Greece, I had decided to approach my semester with an open mind. In the beginning, we found ourselves in a strange environment. Everything was unknown, even the other students. But this ignorance is something that brought us together. After all, everyone was in the same boat. There were many people living under one roof. Through these close quarters, we learned to respect each other and work as a team to achieve the desired ends. I became friends with people I would never have opened up to back home, and this allowed me to further develop parts of my own personality that otherwise would have continued to stay hidden. Working in a large group also helped me to develop patience and perspective. It's ironic and also comforting to find that when you take 20 college students, fly them 4,000 miles away from home, and put them in a strange country, they're fine. In fact, I never felt so healthy and well-adjusted in all of my life. I had to do everything for myself and take responsibility for all of my actions. It felt great. My program in Greece featured a one-week study tour at the beginning of the semester. For each day that week, we were taken by bus to different historical locations in Greece. The program director would guide us through the various cities and archaeological sites. During this week, all of the travel and accommodations were taken care of, so it was easy to see a lot of Greece with minimal stress. I made sure that the program I had chosen could provide the classes I needed to stay on track in order to graduate on time. Some of my classes met at the University of the Aegean with individual professors, while others met on location at archaeological sites and museums. The classes were set up specifically for us, separate from the Greek students. I was relieved to find that academics in Greece are relaxed. The American and Greek lifestyles are so profoundly different. In Greece, people are much more relaxed. Time is not a constraint to motivate, but a luxury to enjoy. In America, there are many laws and regulations that confine our behaviors, while in Greece, order is held through personal responsibility and community trust. Personally, I found that some aspects of European living were more satisfying than anything in the States. I had a chance to experience Greece without being wrapped up in the rat race of my everyday life. My entire world was the moment and the person in front of me. Although I still had to honor the commitments I had back in the US, the freedom in Greece opened my eyes critically. Studying in Greece gave me the opportunity to learn about another country, but also to learn more about the US. For the first time, I was able to see the US as other countries do. I was able to develop a more complete picture of what it means to be American. Before, I took America for granted, only seeing its faults. But having lived in Greece for 4 months, I now understand what makes America great. Greece might be experiencing a lot of change, but for the most part, reliable internet service and post offices are easily available. While living in Greece, it is possible to stay in touch with your family via phone, internet, and standard mail. Though once I was settled in and knew the best ways to contact people back home, I still chose not to. I always knew that the people I loved would still be there for me upon return, and they too understood that for me, Greece was about building new relationships from the ground up. Americans aren't always welcome abroad, but consistent friendliness and a willingness to learn the language will ultimately win you acceptance. Though don't underestimate the difficulty of the Greek language. Because of its central location in the Mediterranean and proximity to other European countries, traveling out of Greece is easy. My independent travel experiences were some of the most memorable and rewarding of my semester abroad. After 4 months in Greece, I knew that Greece had given me everything that I wanted, but even still, it was very sad leaving. I met the most wonderful and beautiful people in Greece, and it broke my heart to leave all of the friends I had made. Luckily, I decided to transition back into my American life by spending the last 2 weeks of my trip traveling around Europe. Seeing a variety of European countries lessened the blow of leaving my home away from home. I highly recommend taking advantage of Europe's travel deals. When I arrived home, I knew that it was just in time. After 4 months abroad, I needed some time to process my experience, and I was glad to return to the comfort of my hometown, where everything was familiar. In Europe, I always had to adapt to different things like eating, sleeping, and bathing arrangements. So after that, living back home in America is a piece of cake. I did experience reverse culture shock within the first month of being back. Greece kept me constantly stimulated, and it's just not that easy finding the same level of inspiration in your backyard. Seeing the Parthenon, for example, it's a hard act to follow in Kingston. My European travels have led me to expect constant activity, and that expectation has made my academic and professional life more fulfilling. As ambitious as my personal goals were, all of them were met. While in Greece, I always marveled at how much I was learning. I wanted to take these lessons with me because of the ease and enjoyment they gave my life. So even still today, I make it a point to think back on how Greece changed me, how it helped me. Students interested in studying abroad in Greece or any other country should visit the Study Abroad Programs office in the URI Office of International Education. The way I see it, my entire life was leading up to Greece. Greece allowed me to actualize the personality I had been working on for 21 years. The semester I spent abroad changed my life, and I encourage anyone who is looking to pursue a similar experience to just do it.